Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action, bringing fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom for today's shifting paradigm. Now, it is your moment to open your mind, relax into your body and spirit as we explore the greater meaning of your now experience. Bringing wisdom, laughter, and clarity, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am Wisdom Teacher Shri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira, and welcome to 2021.
Yes.
We did it, right? We are here right now, and it is a giant rainbow from our giant rainbow here at our little Garden of Eden at Toasted Blue Mountain to your beautiful world. Thank you for connecting with us in this glorious moment right now. This is a huge show today. I mean, I want you to breathe. You already feel it, right? I don't even have to say anything else. You're just going, I feel it, Kira. I know it. This has been coming. We're here. And really, Shri, before we go anywhere else, I do want to give a big, strong shout out to all of you that joined us live and to all of you that registered and joined to receive the video. We're getting the video out from New Year's Eve. We are still decompressing New Year's Eve. Yeah. I mean, we really are. And to all of you that were with us and that are on the list to receive the rest, thank you.
Absolutely. New Year's Eve was wonderful to be able to share with you and share a little bit of the festivities here and the energies and such of the times. Beautiful, powerful ensoulment that came through. And for those of you that registered, you're going to receive that link in the morning.
Yeah, so look for that tomorrow.
Yeah. You'll get back to that. Woo! But right now we want to say hi to all of our friends at onenesstalkradio.com, bbsradio.com, and the various affiliates. And of course, there's a big community growing over at Official Shri and Kira at YouTube.
Yeah, hey everybody.
Lots of chat happening, so give each other a hug.
Absolutely, and I'm giving a shout out to all the Facebook groups that are out there as well, and all of the other channels we're not mentioning. We love you all. Thank you for supporting Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. And if ever the voice of passionate action was being called, it is right now. So make sure you are calling in. 2 lines that you can get in on, and I'm watching them all fill really fast here. You want to get in over at BBS Radio on our toll-free line, 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008. And over at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. 517-208-1500. Hold on to both those numbers. Remember, if you call and it's busy, it just means every line is taken. But as soon as we call people, that's when a line opens up. And if it's meant to be the moment that we connect, you will always get through. And it's awesome.
And that's why we've got 2 call boards.
Exactly.
Plenty of room.
So
Come on in.
When we blew up one call board, we said, all right, let's get another one with even more lines. So let's have some fun today. Remember, hey, over at Oneness Talk Radio, if you press *5, that raises your hand telling us you have a question for the bar none most amazing medical intuitive on the planet. And this is not because I am his wife. It is because I have had the honor of living next to Shri for 19 years and witnessed miracle after miracle after miracle. He is the single most brilliant, humble, authentic medical intuitive on the planet, and I bow before you. Thank you. So *5 gets that connection. Or you just tell our producer Don over at BBS Radio, hey, I want to talk to Shri, and he'll let us know.
Absolutely. So, beloveds, welcome to January 2021. And I tell you what, there's been an anticipation. We've actually began talking about this energy a week or so ago, and there's so much to reveal. It's going to take more than one show to really deliver all of this to you.
Well, that's really true, because we're unpacking right now. Let's just think of this and pay attention. So we're going to go really slow. First thing we're doing is we're unpacking the fact that it is 2021. So what is 2021? 2021 is the mirror of the up level in this decade. And I'm just looking to see if by any chance we have that graphic, but I don't think we do. So remember that when we opened up this decade, this roaring 20s, as Shri and I have been referring to it, that this is very much it was the first thing that opened up this cycle. And when we came out and said it's going to look a lot like and feel a lot like of the energies of the literal roaring 20s of the 1900s, we did not get a lot of popular mail. And that's, sorry, the truth is the truth. But just because of that doesn't mean it has to replay exactly the same way. We are being blessed with something we didn't have then. We are being blessed with a massive wave of awakened consciousness. We are wiser. We are here. We are very much awake and aware of the co-creative intersection that we have found ourselves in right now. And this is not an accident. This is not happening by some perchance. Remember that, let's go back a couple years. Shri and I first put out, back in 2014, we put out the Ascension Escalator. We were the first people until everybody started jumping on it. And that's awesome. Just again, those of you that like to enjoy using our work as your own, how about just a quick shout out to where you first found it? And so as we opened up, 2015 through 2022 was going to be the 7-year portal that would determine literally the next 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. And that this isn't game time. This isn't about celebrity or ego or money. This is about our humanity as an evolving experience of consciousness. We are at such a blessed moment. And 2021 is the mirror of 2020. And these 2 years were the final 2 years leading up to that 2022. And the only way I'm going to describe it is just, poof. It's going to be an explosion. The question is, an explosion of what? And so knowing that ignites consciousness and assists vibration to raise. And in 2020, we were greeted with the first experience of the up-level energy.
And the first experience of the up-level energy brought us to a number of revelations. And in 2020, we talked about the dragonfly energy.
Right. Remember, it was the year of the dragonfly.
And we talked for the first time about spiral time coming forward. And this got really rich as we moved into mid-year. And especially as we got into September.
Well, and let's talk about that Lionsgate in August.
Yeah.
Because there was so much, right? There was so much that came in 2020, but what we did not know going in was that it was going to actually be the final breath of linear time.
Yeah.
We knew we were shifting, but we didn't know that we were already here, but we did know it before the year ended.
Well, and this is kind of a fun one because
Exactly.
For the last 20 years, we've been talking about, well, time is speeding up.
Right, time is speeding up.
Okay, it's a whole different universe now.
Right.
It isn't about linear time running faster. It's about spiral time. And it's almost as if you're getting a centrifugal whipsaw because you're spiraling around. And we're picking up nuggets of experiences that we've had years ago that somehow are contributing to the resolution of our personal timeline. So consider that for a moment.
Maybe breathe that in for a moment.
Yeah.
Just really, I felt a lot of you, as Shri was sharing that, I felt a lot of third chakra. And yeah, your third chakra is going, this has been an interesting ride so far. What's coming? And this is why we're taking it slow. So just kind of sit back, enjoy your beverage with us, and just really follow, because this is a big show today that really our intention, our sacred intention, is to get you fully into what's happening right now without feeling intimidated by it. Instead, feeling the freedom and the absolute blessing of the divine presence before us all. Yeah. Massive up level.
Massive indeed. And I think it's kind of fun here as we're moving into 2021 to touch into all of the preparatory energies that happen in 2020. Because as 2021 is a mirror of 2020, it is taking many of those same energies and not only reflecting them, intensifying them.
Because it's a mirror. Remember, it's the mirror. Everything has been about mirrors and soul mirrors, everything. And 2021 is the mirror of 2020 with some dramatic shifts.
And one of the things we brought forward back in January 2020 was to recontextualize fear as an ascension symptom.
So really, let's stop right there. We have been putting out those ascension symptoms since 2004. And last year, for the first time, fear is actually an ascension symptom. So it's really important, because when you recontextualize, what we're inviting you to do is say you're going to need to lift above the level of consciousness that is embracing your fear. You're going to need to lift above the level of consciousness that's afraid of you breaking through your fear. And it's that moment of lifting above into that level of consciousness that is commanded by the compassion you carry for yourself, that ignites your fifth dimensional presence, thereby ascending you into that wide angle lens of the fear, where you can release the judgment and ascend beyond that. We're at that moment right now, and it began in January 2020 when we came forward and said, you've got to pay attention. Fear is actually an ascension symptom.
And how you work with this, the energy of fear, will determine the rapidity, meaning how quickly you anchor in your mastery as an ascended being, versus dancing in a kind of a dynamic, nobody's winning kind of a dynamic. Because when we try to cope with something, so for example, the fear, when you try to cope with fear, what you're saying is, I acknowledge your reality and now I'll dance with you. And if you get too high, I'm going to try to push you down. But the fear never disappears, does it? Because you're just coping and you've acknowledged it as a dance partner.
Right.
Versus an ascension symptom, meaning as I lift my consciousness, that which was created at a lower level of consciousness has less efficacy at a higher or more refined level of consciousness. So when we use fear to help support us to expand our vision, open our heart, when we use it in that fashion, then fear, you can be grateful that it sparked your awareness and clarified your choices.
That's when you're the commander. Breathe that in, because in order to be at that level of conscious awareness means that that teeter-totter of the ego and the consciousness as to who really has dominion over this protoplasmic experience has reached a moment of balance. And this is the gift of this up-level moment, is that we are being offered the opportunity to call the energies back into balance. A few years ago, we first started talking about the lineage holders and really putting it out there. And many, many, many of you are now part of the lineage holder experience. And what we have been doing is we gather together and we surf time. And as we have been surfing time, we have collectively chosen to be in this exact co-creative millisecond together. And the reason that we did this is because in this millisecond, this is one of those where when you look up at the sky and you see every star is so beautiful, there's just one in that moment you can't not look at. That's right now. And the reason that's so profound is that 2021 is a year of mastery choice. And I want to just remind you, I'm going to put up last year's energy flows. So here's what we've been working with in all of 2020. And we see that last year was a year of mastery experience. And it was the introduction of this kind of spiral experience, yet it was happening inside of a fairly linear, yet a little shifted moment, right? January through August were still very linear, yet they were basically the foundation upon which the time compression sequences of September, October, November, and December called forward in perfect balance the infinite spin of the awakening. And if you look in the middle of this graphic where you see kind of like that pyramid experience going up to the heart of the dragonfly, that dragonfly lifted. And you notice all last year there were these, when I called this in, I was very clear to get the angel wings in there as part of the dragonfly experience and how humanity was holding itself between February and July and, the way this was all coming together. Well, here's what's so beautiful. And so as you really take a look at this, oh, nope. I'm doing the wrong. My poor husband, I almost gave him a heart attack. I go up here. Okay. First, let me just share with you, I almost just canceled the show, but thanks to my husband, it didn't happen. All right. So breathe in, because really in so many ways, that would have been like such an opportune moment if that accident was to happen. That was last year's energy flow. Okay. That was the 2020 energy flow. You ready? You ready for this year, guys? And it is, where is it, Sri? There it is. This is this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just let this
Breathe.
wash over you. Let this wash
Breathe.
over you.
So, maybe I should do that again real quick between the two. So let's do that. I'm going to go right to. So this was last year. Profound in itself when it first came out, right?
And represented a little differently because we had pillars of experience, January, September.
Well, we still had that linear kind of linearity.
But we were transitioning from accelerated linearity, meaning, and we were bringing in visionary transformation through timeline adaptation.
Keyword, adaptation. Adaptation. They were saying, hey, get used to this. And then we did ignite that spiral, right? And that really finally hit full go because it had to wait till December, because December was the final anchor of the pillar of the profound shift. And so then what happened was that this beautiful dragonfly said, okay, here we go. I'm transcending. And so feel what happened. And I know I just did, and even being the one who's kind of like moving the slides. So what's happening is the 2021, let me just assist you to understand what you're even looking at, right? This took me a long time to finish because I could not, it was very challenging to put this into a graphic. I am doing the best I can, and I do think this one accomplished it. The first thing you need to know is that when did all this time expansion happen? It happened on 8/8 the Lion's Gate. And if you have not been part of WWA Global, if you did not take advantage of that program, go to ShriAndCare.com, jump into that home study program because it time-stamped that moment. This is the ignited discus of Vishnu. And this is the interior of that discus in its profound creative state. And this year, one of the things that is so incredibly unique is that 2021 is the mastery choice as the harmonic flow of the 3 gates, which you see here, and the 12 cycles. As you can tell just by engaging this energy, this is a dynamic year that is literally going to invite the all, which means without limit, to go beyond the boundaries of the accepted paradigm. So if you keep trying to keep up with what was, you will become very subjected to massive energetic interference. The one energy is screaming at us all. And for everyone who says yes to enter, I mean really enter deeply into the nature of interdimensional weaving of energy, you become the limitless nature of pure flow. You become that. And in the center, you see it's all about this all-seeing eye. So I'm going to come back to this energy flow in a moment because the all-seeing eye is this. It is what that dragonfly has transformed into. So 2020 was the year of mastery experience as the dragonfly. 2021 is the year of mastery choice as the rising phoenix, literally embodied as the lion dragon. And this mythical creature, this literal, think about it, it's a trinity of energies. It's the energy of the phoenix, the energy of the dragon, and the energy of the lion as one unified presence, spinning in the past, present, future of multidimensional time. It is the absolute gateway that exists within each being. And it is what that dragonfly that we all saw is so powerful, so amazing, and so incredible. This is what it's transformed into. So the key is this you or is this frightening you?
That's a beautiful question because all 3 of these images, the lion, the dragon, and the phoenix, connote great power. Imagine the opportunity before you as you align with the integrated energy of the 3.
And exactly. It's that beautiful trinity. And what I'm loving is that when we get to the Ascended Numerology, remember that 2020 was what? In Ascended Numerology, 2020 was the 4 of the double infinite. Very rare. And so the 4 is all about perfect balance. It's also about that energy of creation within. And on the body, the 4 is actually at the root center of the spine. And so every single month this year, the root has been attacked and just been like boom, boom, boom. And so what it's been is like this beautiful opening that's saying, hey, are you ready to break free? Hey, are you ready to feel safe? Hey, are you ready to accept how amazing you are?
So in 2020, every single month,
every month,
as the energy came in and had its qualities,
right?
The one universal quality was spiritual empowerment, pushing or being present at the root chakra of your form and the energy body inhabiting this form. And the root chakra was being knocked, called to accept a spiritually based reality, the truth of your ascended nature, as opposed to a worldly paradigm which sees the world as subject, object, lack, and abundance. And so in those polarities, the root chakra that is common and what we were born into, the energy is one of where's my tribe, where's my safety?
I want to be safe, and I will give up anything, including my soul.
Will give up,
right?
Yeah.
In the name of
I will
perception of
forget
safety.
the truth that I am a spiritual master inhabiting this body. Now, 2020 was basically going knock at the door of the slumbering spiritual masters, saying, "Wake up, wake up, wake up!" It's time to foundationalize your spiritual identity as your true identity, and thereby we walk through all experiences with a masterful sense of peace and ability to command the light. And this is the legacy that we're calling in ever greater evolutionary opportunities. And 2021 will continue this opportunity.
Big time. And here's the gift. As you were just gazing at that beautiful rising phoenix, 2021 is the year of the rising phoenix. However, it's the rising phoenix as the lion dragon. And so that trinity, that unified field of resurrected empowerment, is saying this is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen, because in order to really call forward the blessing of this moment, it's going to invite you to go where you've never gone before. It's going to invite you to trust you more than you've ever trusted you before, and to have the courage, because it takes courage to be nakedly authentic. I can tell you that. Yeah. And one of the things I'll share just as a fun side note is, recently, I think many of you know that I was a CEO and had a very large corporation. I had owned the largest woman-owned insurance agency at one time in the United States, and lots of other things. And I have not been in that role. And I've been with Sri close to 20 years, so probably 25 to 30 years since I have really been actively in that role. And I really was very clear after many things that happened in my life that was the blessing that got me to where I am now, meaning that I needed that experience to be who I am now. Well, over the past few weeks, because of my passion for the WWA Global event and because of other things, I've had to carry that mantle to be able to outreach and put things together. And what I will share is that the two things that still seem to be out there are that as much as people talk it, very few walk it, and that naked authenticity is still intimidating. And that there is such a level of complex misunderstanding, even through some of the most enlightened beings, that we have let our egos guide. And in this moment right now, I'm going to put that graphic right back up, because here's what I want to show you along with it. So here's the 2021 energy flow. So here it is now. And that eye, that all-seeing eye, is the phoenix. That's the opened eye of the phoenix right there. That's saying, okay, here I am. This is like the very, very, very top, like the star consciousness of the Naga as the lion serpent. It's like, there it is. That is actually in the middle of it all. But it is the 0 point generator. because you'll notice that, look at this graphic, you see January, one of those big circles on the left, then you have to go all the way to the right to see the concentric circle. All of these circles are concentric and they are all the same size. What you are gazing at is essentially like a ring, like a donut.
Like a torus field.
Right? Like a torus field inside of a torus field.
Inside of a bigger one.
It's the and that's that discus of Vishnu that opened up. And in the center is this 0 point generating energy that is at a point of like, hey, I can't give you any more power, right? Like we're at warp, God knows what. And it's saying either explode into that which you are meant to be or implode into that which is so dense it won't even be aware of this. And that's why we're in a thrive or dive moment. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, this is the year of the harmonic flow of the three gates. As you gaze at this graphic, do you see what looks like a green circle there? The bigger one, and you see that it really fills the space between May, July on the left and June and August on the other side. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December are going to be the months that will actually call forward the harmony that will affect 2022. So what's happening right now is that we're coming in at this moment where we have this opportunity to be really aware of our concentric energy. In other words, it's like there is no one or other. There is one spiral energy of concentric dimensionality. And I know that can be a lot for the mind to wrap around, which is why we're taking it slow. So let me show you something else that's pretty wild. So here, you got this, right? Because I'm going to go right to the next one, guys. Here we are. This is the field of creation inside that eye. You see the eye? Right? If you really look carefully in the center of the golden chalice, in the center of this, you will see there's that eye, that awakened presence of that incredible phoenix as the lion serpent, the lion dragon, is the one that is able to hold open, because this is going to take a force field and a unified presence of energy that is unlike anything we have ever done before. And this is why those of us that get that have been really offering that and saying, look, 2021 is our first year of true mastery choice in this decade. And this is the moment. Last year was calling all light workers, calling all masters into the field of creation. Here's what's coming. And when you gaze at this, and I'm going to spend more time on this next week when we talk specifically more about January, what this is saying is, look, right now, everything that is working at the level of the middle of the spiritual activism and density consciousness is outside of this time constraint, thereby unable to sustain it. And again, this is a whole show, and so I will be talking more about this next Sunday. But what's important to see here is where that chalice is. The chalice is coming forward because it is the 0 point generator. The way to navigate this year, the way to thrive like you have never thrived before, the way to call in the law of instantaneous manifestation is to literally say, okay, my blinders are on. This is who I am, and everything else cannot stop me. Mm-hmm. Because everything that's going to try to stop you is coming, because here, remember, 2021 is a choice year, but January is an experience month. And so right now, you are in the experience of the awareness that came through in December that is affecting the foundational energy of your choice for a long time. Yeah. A long time. And remember, February will be our first choice month in a choice year. Double choice. Lots coming. Big, big, big time.
February is going to be another big amplification
Yeah.
of the reflection of the human will on the fabric of creation.
Very much so.
And so put that in a different sense. There's going to be stuff going on.
And I think you guys already know that, right? There's lots of stuff going on. So let's take a peek at the Ascendant Numerology, because this also is going to talk. I want to bring it right to this week as well and what's happening here in January. So let's put up the January Ascendant Numerology. And one of the things that you see immediately here, I want you to look at the body. Look to the right. Look at the way Ascendant Numerology, remember, is the original system of numerology. This is what the ancient magi laid at the feet of the masters. This is what was called forward. It incorporates 13 different energies from the 0 through the 12. It is literally your ascended nature. And the first thing you notice is, here's that 4 again. January in and of itself is the 4. Now, it's just the 4. It's not the 4 plus the double infinite. However, remember Shri and I mentioned earlier, every single month in 2020, it's been hit with root chakra, 4 energy, root chakra, 4 energy. Then we jump way back out to the double infinite. Well, now, excuse me, we're starting at the root as like a comfort. So I want you to really breathe that in. We're starting at the 4 and it's a comfort. And then we move to 2021. So from that 4, we go straight up to our truth. And this is where I'm going to go live for a minute again. This is where this year is so powerful, because it's going to be your truth that is going to get the 12-month hit. And it's the truth plus the infinite. So what that means is that your root center in January is saying, hello, let's create. Whatever you're holding in your root center has already hit your truth and is trying to free itself out, because from the truth, it's going back out to the infinite. And then we're going to talk about where it's coming back in. This is setting the stage. This is saying that you won't be able to hide from yourself. So why not thrive? And if you aren't able to thrive, then you're going to dive. And because this is right now, January 3rd, and I'm going to put back up the Ascended Numerology because this is where it's important to see the dates, you'll realize that until we get to January 13th, we're in this. So we're in this. Everything that's in the root, which can either be amazingly about peace and trust and manifest glory or power and empowerment and beingness, or a lot of fear, a lot of safety issues, a lot of regression issues, right? So that has shot up into your throat right now. Your truth is being forced out. There it is. So are you thriving with it, or are you diving from it? And that went right back out to the infinite, where it's gaining this wonderful empowered energy. And it came right back in the minute we hit January 1. It wound up at number 9, your high heart. So right now, your root center, your throat, and your high heart are the trinity of motion that are compelling you forward. And if you look over at the clock, you'll see that we begin at the 4, and the 4 is that rectangle there. And the 4 is also perfect balance. But from the 4, we went, you see that little purple arrow, we had to go right to the 5. But the 5 takes us right into the infinite, where we're shooting right back out to the 9. That brings us right back into the infinite, which means right now we are all sitting in a 0 point. What we do right now really matters. And we're going to stay here until the 13th. So what does that mean? It means the first 13 days of January are going to blow your mind. Yep. And is it any wonder that it's 13? It's perfect. We're resetting. We are literally resetting humanity. And this is why Ascended Numerology is so important. It's the 13 digits. So very first month, we come in and go, look, we're in this first cycle of the 13, and these first 13 days are going to determine virtually everything. So it's ready, go, set. Like it or not, you're a master.
Absolutely. And I want to bring forward a recognition of your spiritual experience as relates to these three energies, these three chakras. So as Kira is pointing out, the root chakra, which is the 4, moving to the throat chakra, which we refer to as the truth chakra, and to the high heart.
Right.
So consider for a moment that you have taken birth. You're here as a spiritual essence, a soul, having your human experience, and most beings on the planet having forgotten the fullness of their spiritual nature. People get glimpses, they get pieces, they get a sense of there's more than the physical, but they still are pretty addicted to the physical and having their fun. And cool, you took birth to do that, go play.
Right on, right?
Yeah. However, the universe is saying, beloved ones, here's some energy that will activate your principal core foundation to awaken to a higher level of truth while you're having this wonderful earth dance. So we already talked about the root chakra as being that foundation. It sits there in your pelvis. This is your place of balance and walking in form. The root chakra is the foundational chakra of the body, and it informs your skeletal system. And your skeletal system is the very structure you hang your body on, right? So all of a sudden now, Spirit is saying your skeleton is spiritual.
Breathe that in.
Okay, now let's go to the throat chakra, the 5th chakra. The 5th chakra is your truth chakra. Now, what is truth? Many people, when they're living one step removed from a deeper field of perception, meaning if I'm living just in my head or in the context of density, truth becomes malleable. Right. Truth becomes whoever gives me an enthusiastic sales pitch, oh, that must be true, right? You know, whoever's a good writer, I buy their truth. So
well, this is a whole other experience about passion and your own empowerment, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But consider now that this pure cosmic spiritual energy is activating the discernment of truth.
I can feel that.
And the discernment of truth, because our voice, this throat chakra, our voice is one of the ways that we as a spiritual master command form, command our experience. And this is why certain songs and certain frequencies and certain chants have such great goose flesh tingling power for us, is we're just awakening to the true capacity of our capability to command. And as we activate our spiritual foundation, then what we are commanding has a connection to our spiritual truth, as opposed to commanding from a place of egoic distortion. Now, we're not done. So we had this wonderful energy coming in, and we're right in the middle of it right now. Is our foundation is being spiritually inspired, our sense of what is true, and the call to be in your truth, speak your truth, be authentic, be visible.
Naked authenticity will honestly take you through.
Yeah, and visibility doesn't mean you're standing on a soapbox. It just means I'm not covering myself up.
Let's breathe that in.
Yeah, I'm available to be seen. Yeah. And now let's take and go to the high heart. What's the final gift, the spiritual gift of the energy of this time, is the activation of the recognition of the global family. That my global family, humanity, Gaia, all beings, is as important as anything that I love. That there is a balance between the love of myself, the love of my partner and family, and the love of creation. There is a harmonic balance there, because all is of spirit. And only the egoic filter would prioritize. Now, this doesn't take anything away from what you are loving today. It's saying, add me in with equal importance. We live in a beautifully inspired cosmos. And as we see the beauty, recognize the beauty, we love the beauty, and thereby we sustain the beauty. That's the call that's upon us.
Yeah. Breathe that in, right? So as we breathe that in, as we really feel that, I want to talk about what's happening with these harmonic gates, because this is really unusual, and yet it's so perfect. It's all about this harmonic resonance of those three gates and what this is doing. And let's go ahead. Let's put that up there. Let's show it to you again. I think it's really important for you guys to just, the best way to honestly understand this year is to just stare at this graphic while I'm trying to share with you. So as you're gazing at the graphic right now, again, the green, you see there's like those three green, those are the harmonies. Those are the three gates. And so what's important to know is that the three gates that are opening, and they started being revealed in November. Okay, remember that? And the November, December was that one energy that pulled 2021 already in. So what's so powerful is that these energies assist to energize the 12 cycles. Every one of these months, every month that you're looking at here is its own cycle within the cycle as part of the suspension or this spiraling concentric energy that is keeping open the entire year. And this is what's really important. Every single aspect of this year is unified as one energy. There are these 12 experiences, these 12 cycles that are happening within this flow of harmony so that you can relax and literally be the movement of the life experience, to let go of all sense of victim consciousness. And so these three gates that you're staring at that have opened have actually ignited because of the rapid intensity. So basically it was like the internal generator within the Taurus field held open by what? Steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. Remember, that's what ignites our Taurus field inside of this ignited discus of Vishnu, which heralded in the unified field of the divine feminine, the rising need, the necessity for the feminine energy to absolutely come forward. And so as that framework of support, which includes supporting that divine feminine presence, as that holds open the Taurus energy, then we can relax ever more and remember that we actually are the 0 point energy field. And that is what's coming forward right now as this rising phoenix, as this lion dragon. The essence of 2021 is the ability to be able to effortlessly call forward sacred union of this body of form with the conscious awareness of your mastery presence while fully aware of this incredible moment. And so I'm going to talk to you about gate 1 right now. So gate 1, as I mentioned, you see, is coming in really between the May-June area. So the gates are already here. So I don't want to confuse you. They're already here, but it's like a 3-stage rocket, okay?
Yeah.
And so that 3-stage rocket is going to begin May-June, and this gate is huge. You ready? This is the gate of the energy of releasing dogma and the energy of sacrifice.
Releasing dogma means I'm moving into present time.
Yes, absolutely.
All dogma was created based on a context of the moment that it was prioritized.
Exactly.
So in the Middle Ages, the dogma had a different context, and the dogma had a different force and power.
Right.
The context of today's world and the awakening energy is quite different. So to release dogma means I am bringing all of my energy and consciousness into this timeline, and I'm releasing the influence of those other dogmatic beliefs.
Now, this is going to be really important. Remember, we're looking at May, June. So right now, we have between now and May to really build that power of balance, because what this is, this first gate, and it's a gate, right, is the moment where all of that, which is part of the all-encompassing humanity, will be faced with the energetic experience of the victim triangle of consciousness or the ascended present cycle of creation. And at the core of this is going to be self-sacrifice. So I want you to really pay attention to that, because what they're really saying is, what you're discovering here in Earth School is that admission is granted because you've got to walk through the forest of forgetfulness, right? And that your continued participation means that you accept that sacrifice is okay, that there's got to be some form of sacrifice, whatever it's for, state, country, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that is a victim belief structure. And the world of dogma then becomes a cycle of experience that seeks to manipulate the creation through self-inflicting sacrifice. And so this is going to be the moment when you are going to be invited to lift above the illusion, to throw the arms of compassion around yourself, and to say yes to your higher dimensional presence that knows at the essence of who you are that all sacrifice is a lie, that we tell ourselves to maintain our own disconnection from our own mastery. It's just a manipulation of creation, right? And it's also the smile of illumination as we can lovingly wrap our arms around it and reassure it through our awakened presence. So it's a massive, massive gate. And this is just gate 1 of 3.
And it's kind of important to look at this outside of the eyes of your modern lens.
Right.
Because oftentimes people in civilized, quote unquote, first world society say, well, we don't do sacrifice. You are...
You're constantly sacrificing.
There is a collusion.
And that belief that it's okay, that it's okay for you to be sacrificing so much or to not have. It's not okay unless you make it okay.
And the whole concept or underpinning belief around the sacrifice is, if I give up this, or if I release my knowingness, if I give this, meaning if I sacrifice, right, then something better, some desired outcome is happening. It's this cause-effect type of Newtonian paradigm, which is so outgrown, yet still is perpetuated.
Baba, it's so outgrown.
Cause and effect, it does not have power in the quantum universe.
Right?
It's the quantum universe that allowed cause and effect to become embodied. And as we are being called back into the 0 point, back into our mastery, we are lifting our vibrational state.
You are this.
And that the release of sacrifice, the release of dogma is of course.
Right?
It's like we don't need the limitations anymore. All belief systems limit your capacity to create.
They do.
And when the heart is ignited, your creations are pure. Your creations are wholesome and balancing.
Woo! So I want you to really breathe that in, because that's just the first gate. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the energy flow diagram again, because I know every time I put it up now, you're starting to feel a little easier with it, right? You're like, okay, I'm starting to breathe it. I mean, really, I just keep putting it up little by little. This will be the cover of the up-level calendar. And the reason the up-level calendar is not out yet is because there's just that much, and it keeps shifting, and they keep telling me that I will be able to get it out to you mid-month, the latest, hopefully sooner. But as you gaze at this, now I want you to look at the second one. And you notice the second one, it's like we get a reprieve. You see that? If you look at the way this is moving, excuse me, there's a reprieve there. So between the May, June, July, August, there's just a moment where we get a breath to go, okay, in breath, now make your decision. And then you notice it's kind of like this bridge energy. And it's like a September, October shadowy kind of energy. This is very important. This is the second gate. So what's happening by now is that because this is concentric dimensionality, all of these gates are already pumping out a harmony. They're already like a steady pulse wave of energy. And the key is, how are you receiving that pulse wave? And where that pulse wave harmonizes is what you're seeing here. But these gates are already here. These energies are already here. And so I want to go ahead and talk to you now. Before I do that, let's look at gate 2. Gate 2 is all about the ascended kundalini and the physical spine. So as we know, this is already happening. The Ascended Kundalini, Shri and I have been talking about it for about 2 months now. The spine issues, when we start talking to Shri, I know a lot of you have a lot of spine. The nervous system. This is what's happening. That Ascended Kundalini is literally igniting your unified, unique strands of DNA. And you can call them anything you want, right? DNA is just words we're using from this experience of nature. But within you, there are other inactive areas of energy that are literally igniting and shifting. And sometimes we feel them. And that's what we call Ascension Symptoms. And next week's show is going to be talking all about that. But what's happening right now is that you have a new meridian system, or I should say a ancient meridian system, an activating meridian system that is utilizing the alignment of the spine and the central nervous system, the CNS, and moving through that. That's why for years on the planet we've seen a lot of CNS uptick, lots of different things happening with the central nervous system. And so that energy is already here. But remember I said we're going to get kind of that breath as that one harmony, as that first harmony of the release of Dogma and all of that stabilizes as gate 1. This gate 2 is, remember the spine, we're not just talking about the physical body, we're talking about actual support structures. We're talking about everything that supports who we are at every level of creation. I want you to take a breath. I'm going to say it again. We're talking about everything that supports who we are at every level of our creation. Our spine, our support, our very foundation. And this is why really adapting and coming forward right now, you will thrive in ways you've never even dreamed of if you are choosing to stay in that ascended presence. Or you can dive into the creation presence of the third dimension, and you will see things you have never seen before. Either way, it's going to be awesome.
It is indeed, because this energy is available for all. Mm-hmm. Now, the integration of the energy is dependent a lot upon your your prejudices as well as your degree of accepting the truth of your mastery.
Exactly.
Because we push away on that which we are not comfortable with.
Always, right?
And so human beings tend to resist growth experiences because it challenges the ego's sense of stability. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their comfort zone. When we start relaxing the ego dominance of in our consciousness and begin to lean into our soul-based life, then the ego starts to kind of float in the soul's energy rather than the soul being dormant within the ego's dominance. This is a fundamental shift. And
massive.
This shift is your gateway to the higher realms. Mm. So I want to say this one more time a little differently. Everything that's gone on in history and the history of consciousness and the evolutionary potential of human beings has had this evolutionary sequential aspect to it. It's this Newtonian aspect, cause, effect, subject, object, left, right, polarity, and through the tension of the poles we birth a new unity and a greater oneness, but then we dance with the next level of polarity. So all of that's been going on, and then when this energy gets activated, the energy that's upon us now is saying it's time to birth your love-based reality as the fundamental truth of the fabric of your nature. Now, this is a little different take on this, a little different way of saying it. The love-based reality represents a vibrational state of unity, harmony, and beauty, versus the vibrational state of positionality, opposition, competition, fear, all of that good stuff.
Exactly.
Right? So that transition happens when your mastery presence is forefront versus dormant within the confines of the ego. So this is one of the great breakthroughs that's upon humanity, is moving out of ego dominance into soul-based living, even if it's just a little bit.
Well, and here's where I want to just jump in and say, and here's where for those of you that are going, who are you two freaky people? I'm going to put up my dear friend Einstein. So here he is. Here's my babe. I love this guy. I can hardly wait for him and I to have a consciousness conversation when I have the blessing of transcending up there. So here it is. not only do we know, I mean, we all know this one, right? That no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. But here are the two in the middle that really are the essence of this. Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it, period. Match the frequency of the reality you want. You are the commander of the ship, right? And you cannot help but get that reality. Typo, compliment, secure, raw. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. This is immutable. Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. And all you have to do is consciously match the frequency of that which you are ready to create, and you'll get it. Law of instantaneous manifestation. Now, how do you do that? My next favorite quote on the other side there. Now, let's talk about matter, shall we, Shri? All right. So, concerning matter, we have been all wrong. I love that. I love that. The willingness to say, wait a minute, we got this wrong, right? Concerning matter, we've been all wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. This is the illusion. This is that. And how do you sustain these levels of energy? If you want to really call this in, because I love over here where we talk about concerning matter, we're all wrong. What we have called matter is energy. See quote number 1, everything is energy, yes, right? There it is, right?
And that's all there is
to it.
That's all
there is to it. And so if we want to continue this co-creative illusion and keep expanding, and we all know that Einstein said many things about being vegetarian, the one thing right now that seems to be the most imperative as we are in this battle of our consciousness is to remember Einstein. Vegetarian food leaves a deep impression on our very nature. This is why Shri and I live here in this thriving community, and every wild animal there is lives on our property because we have no fear because we do not smell like predators. It changes, it leaves an impression on your very nature. Your energy can become even more refined because it's not vibrating with the energy of fear. No matter what way an animal is murdered, it's still murdered for you to eat it. And it leaves a deep impression on your very nature. And if the whole world adopts vegetarianism, it could change the destiny of humankind.
Yes.
And I just want to share that. I find that very profound because, many of you know, and I'm just going to say it despite any hate mail I might get, that I have an indigenous heart and an Indian soul. And every time I'm in India, my heart hurts when I see people who are at these devout temples and then they go shove meat in their mouths. And that it's okay to be a part-time vegetarian. It's not. Either be one or not. And we're not passing judgment. What we're saying is that this is a moment where we are all being called to the highest service of that which we are, and to transcend all dogma as that gate opens. That gate coming in May, June, July, August, that gate, that first big vibratory gate is going to be all around dogma, and it's going to be all around victim consciousness and sacrifice. Mm-hmm. So you see how many ways. So why not let it be the moment of the divine dance? And this is why the March equinox is beyond important. I mean, beyond important, because that is the moment of peak balance. To be able to harness that so that April becomes the moment of the adjustment before we hit the first outer vibration in May. It's such a huge year. And we have another gate. And we have a lot of people holding, and thank you for your patience and stay on the lines. And before we get there, and before we share anything else with you, there are 2 things we want to share with you right now. The first one is Monday Magic resumes in 1 week. Oh my goodness.
January 11th.
Monday, January 11. And we are going to be diving into how to live an ascended life right now, how to thrive through that, how to really be able to do that. We are going to be diving deep into those ascension keys. And This is your moment. Remember, even if you've been with us at Monday Magic, you have to register again. For your privacy, we don't just roll you over. So please, please, please go to SriAnkara.com. Right there on the homepage. You can't miss it. Click get in. It's a donation basis, whatever your heart would like to donate. And all of your donations go to all of our beautiful humanitarian aid projects here in Ecuador.
You know, one of the things that I love about Monday Magic is that we get to slow down and have a deep exploration of the truths that are applicable, the truths that are relevant and revealing. So, you know, life is a revelatory process. And to live an ascended life takes clarity, and it takes that steadfast commitment well.
It does.
And so when we gather as a group and talk about these truths and the principles that are associated with the truths, we begin to adapt our own reality to live with that greater ease and grace.
Breathe that in. Right?
Ease
breathe that
and
in.
Grace.
Yes, yes, yes. Breathe that in. And here at Tosa Blue Mountain, we have had this beautiful, beautiful dynamic group with us, and everybody's still here right now. Our first beautiful family is leaving just as this show culminates today, and we will miss you dearly. It has been an extraordinary New Year's journey. Again, those of you that were with us for the live broadcast New Year's Eve, thank you. All of you that are registered to receive the broadcast, the video, it's going to go out tomorrow. The gift is that when we come together, miracles happen. And once again, our beloved Bria Rose, you are our family. Every week we have the blessing of being here with all of you. And so right now in this moment, we want to share with you the miracles that have been happening here over the past few days and invite you to just receive this gift, because sincerely we have felt you with us. And we're going to be back right after this beautiful to talk about that third portal. Start receiving all of your calls and questions. I know you can have a lot of questions about what's happening. Feel free to ask them. So bring a hand to your heart. Let's all send a whole bunch of love to a very tired Bria Rose, who did an amazing job once more, and enjoy this beautiful movie.
We'll be right back after you enjoy this.
While he's cutting, that way you can kind of hold it stable. Okay. There you go. We are birthing. This is a moment of freedom, of harvest. Bounty. Do you see the color? Look at how, oh my God, so look at that juice dripping. Wow, look at the perfect, oh my gosh. She's a Merkaba. Wow. She's a six-sided Merkaba. So, you know, we always hold the harvest and know the love and the joy that went into it. So this is a celebratory moment. It's a joy-filled moment. Healing. And what's so beautiful is it looks like a dragon. We need a picture. Holy crowly, you guys need to see this. This painting. And so when we were living in Guatemala, we, as many of you know, we lived among the Highland Maya for 7 years. We were accepted and adopted by the Mayan, and we've been written into the Book of Days. And what I loved about this artist and his art is that all of the shamans are always dark. And it was always this very heavy energy, very smoky, and lots of really dark. Whereas this is the awakened presence of the shaman. This isn't all of those old earthbound traditions that keep you stuck. This is the awakened shaman. And Don Simeon, some of you knew Don Simeon, who we were blessed to work with, this really for me was him. And the more you spend time with this, and I really encourage you to do that, you'll see all the animals that start coming out of it, the way that his machete is done. Just really look at him dancing, one sandal off, one sandal on, walking out into the void. There's just so much happening here.
it's self-preserving. It's the nature of having taken infinite possibility and gone, oh, there's an egg, or there's a frog. Okay, once it's named, and they say in the Old Testament that God gave Adam the right and power to name all creation. Once it's named, it has definition, and the energies of consciousness, meaning the unlimited, infinite consciousness, say, okay, that is. And you do the same for yourself. Who am I? Oh, I am. And when you start off life at the first party you go to, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a secretary. And you define yourself by being a secretary, or a nurse, or a doctor, or a librarian, or I'm unemployed, as if that's a definition of who you are. It's not who you are. It's just something you do. And so this is both the gift and the problem of our co-created experience, that everything has form and definition, and then we all collaborate. We're all codependent with the creation. Oh, okay, hey, some people are just that way, and we allow them to be. At a spiritual level, that's cool. At a creation level, what we're saying is, I'm going to walk with my garbage for the rest of my life? Or can I dismantle it? What is the purpose of the container practice? It is to unwind our creations that are not supportive of our expansion. How do we unwind a creation? Well, first you've got to command it. And because not everybody knows how to unwind a creation, the container is a gift. I comb my field, and all of those emotions, I'm angry about this, I'm hurt about this, I have judgment about this, they're floating in your field. And so all of that quote-unquote garbage that's sloughed off from a momentary response, we can comb through the field and say to the container. What we're doing is we're commanding those forms, even though they're subtle, they're not in physical, they're in emotional forms. We're commanding those forms to the container, where that container is blessed, and it will take those out of this dimension and unwind them back to pure energy. So the concept of unwinding something back to pure energy is a little beyond density norm, yet it is part of the nature of the universe. Creation and destruction are part of the same energy, right? Humanity is in the low 300s. Ascendant, quote unquote, or humanity is in the 400s. Those are the statesmen, the teachers, people, those authors that are talking about principles and unity and spirituality. But the gateway to sainthood begins at 500. There's a difference between holding knowledge and living love. So that's what I'm defining as sainthood. It begins at 500. And these rocks are emanating. So one of the reasons to hug the rock is to say, thank you, I want some of that from you. Help me remember the 500s. Help me attune to my own loving, saintly nature, because it's in each and every heart.
Gave me the 12-month energies for 2020. They all came from this stone. And this is a huge dragon. We haven't done the rest of it yet. And right here, so the first thing is, if you want to connect, and you can, and I really don't even like leaving this stone. You see this part right here, this little part of the nose? Bring this part, your star consciousness to it, and it will open the gateway. It'll send you right into the heart, and you'll immediately know if you have access. And then Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome back. And I just want to bow before beautiful Bria Rose and say thank you with all my heart. And wow, did you all see the Phoenix? I just want to celebrate that it was my beloved Sri Ramka. We were so blessed. This is the first time that, because it was New Year and because of the way that it was about the void of the 31st, we assembled at midnight in our old Paute archaeological site where the overnight Wachuma ceremony of divine love occurred. And it was so beyond extraordinary. And at the end, when they were literally culminating, when Sri went down for the very end of the ceremony, on his own, nobody talked to him about how the 2021 energy is the rising phoenix, right? He created that out of that ash because that was what his guidance invited him to do. And just another fun miracle.
Well, yeah, and a confirmation that in the authenticity of the more deeper shamanic connection, there is indeed the inspiration of the universe coming forward. And this is a shaman that has stepped outside of the dogma.
Very much so.
Honor the traditions, be open to what is. And so there is a respect for what was and an openness to what is to be. And that Phoenix energy, when I went in and I said, okay, one of the things about the tradition is you keep the fire alive and during the night and during the ceremony, and yet as the fire is creating the ash, etc. And so he was compelled to create
a phoenix. And, Alexander is, of course, the lead beautiful being of our Kenyari brethren that will be with us at the WWA Global event, bringing, and the beings that he brought with him, the family. Now when they come, we're having the children here during there, and the wives are coming, and it's just becoming family. So it's really family. There's a oneness between these communities. And so, Bria Rose, thank you. That we could not get you more film of that because of the sacredness of that ceremony. That was literally so. But there were all these beautiful, I think we had 17 beings participate in that, that we can always talk a little bit more about that. I also want to remind you that I pray you really saw this whole video, all of the wisdom my beloved was sharing, and especially about the container practice. Right now, so many people write us and they say, what can I do? I'm losing the battle. I'm being distracted. I'm getting angry. I can't take it anymore. What can I do? Well, as Sri so eloquently just shared with you, you can really clear it right out. And remember that you can find the full way to do the container practice along with a lot of all our gift to the world, SriAndKira.com. Right up at the top, you'll see where it says Yoga of Self-Ascension. Hover over that. All these practices and things are going to drop down. Look for the container practice, and we really encourage you to take advantage of that gift right now and teach others because it really does work.
Yeah, it's time to recognize that you are sovereign. You have the capacity to control or command the light.
You do. And
to command a miscreation out of your field so it can be unwound back into pure energy rather than allowing that unhappy creation to continue to provoke unhappiness.
Exactly.
We have the opportunity now more than ever. Many people have talked about the power of the I am presence. And this recognition has been around. However, the moment of now is vastly more potent than it was.
You feel that?
And the energy of this time and the creative capacity of this time is so available. The Spirit has turned up the amperage, and it's time to let go of doubt and just start being that which you are.
Now, we talked about this New Year's Eve. And again, if you have not yet registered to receive the New Year's Eve video in its entirety with what turned out to be a fairly massive ensoulment included in it, you can just send an email to support@SriAndKira.com and say, hey, how do I get the video? And we'll let you know. What's important to pay attention to is that what we announced that evening is that in the energy of this, and I'm going to put up the graphic of it again because it really is valuable to connect with this incredible energy. This is, as 2020 was the year of the dragonfly, 2021 is the year of the rising phoenix as the lion dragon. And this is only showing up because you see the other flying energies there, because the past, present, future are now and have ignited concentric dimensionality. You're being made aware, you're being given answers to the biggest mysteries you've ever considered. And because those answers are here, now you're in self-denial around them. It's that, what happens when everything you ever asked for comes in front of you? I'll tell you the first thing that happens, you usually blow it up, right? All right, I kid you not. Shri and I, when we first met, if you haven't read our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, why not? Go read the book. But if you've read our book, big love story, met online, we're all excited, getting ready to meet Phoenix Airport for the first time. I get all dressed up to meet my beloved, who immediately rejects me. I mean, even though we had had completely truthful interactions and photos and the whole deal, when we are faced with our greatest blessing, everything will show up to stop it.
Yeah. It's and I'm sure many of you have experienced this, where
Right?
something that's truly what you have wished for, that's beyond your current experience.
It comes in so big, you're like, oh my God.
Whether that's the career or the beloved or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That because it's beyond your current experience, and when you are right on the cusp of calling that in and letting it be real, the egoic presence says, I will give you good reasons not to go there.
Because it's self-preserving, self-sabotaging.
And self-sabotage is one of the greatest obstacles to your personal growth, because we, meaning the egoic reality, will try to preserve its form, even though its form is limited and fear-based.
Yes.
It still seeks to preserve itself.
Absolutely.
And this is the very essence of personal development techniques and self-empowerment techniques. All of them, for the most part, haven't read them all of them.
But he's gotten most. Whew.
Are designed to expand your ego's operating system,
Exactly.
not launch you into the grandeur of your mastery.
Now, breathe that in, because we've talked about this more than once. Are you 1 year's experience repeated however many
every
times,
year?
20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times? Or are you 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times the experience? The answer to that question lies in the depth of your egoic presence, because that's the push-pull energy, and that's what locks us in. And in this moment right now, I want to go ahead and pop up for you again the field of creation. This is that incredible concentric time experience as the field of creation. And now that we've talked about, because they're a little harder to identify here, but now that you know to look, pick up, you see that green, that first harmonic, that one there, the release of Dogma, you see that one, what's going on there, and the sacrifice, you see that May, June, that is spiraling around the very top of spiritual activism. If you gaze at the very bottom and you go up, what you can barely read there is spiritual activism. What I did was I superimposed the pyramid of spiritual awakening to try and show you. That is the energy right now that this entire year is receiving from the third dimensional experience. So imagine if that pillar of light is coming up right now. Imagine that that's the base of the spine at the base of this diagram coming up. Right now, spiritual activism is getting a lot of juice. And so you're going to see a lot of interesting things happen, especially the amplification of the fourth dimensional experience. Fourth dimension is what? It is egoic presence. It is mystery for mystery's sake. It is curiosity for curiosity's sake. It is all of those things. But notice what happens right where, if you look just up above where it says spiritual activism, right there, that's the tipping point of ascension awareness. There's a straight line that comes through where the inner circle is, and you see the green, and I know this can be really confusing, but I really want you to try and see it. You see where the big green circle is coming through, that May-June cycle? Okay, that is the harmonic frequency that's going to decide what explodes then. It's either, and no matter what, we're already set up for it. It's going to happen. But how it happens and what happens is going to be 100% based upon where our consciousness is as the rising phoenix. And if you keep looking up, you notice that right there, just lifting and holding yourself in ascension awareness frequency is enough to send out a pulse beam of light that sustains within concentric dimensionality balance. So I want you to breathe that in. And now I'm going to show you where that eye is and where that's taking you. That's what's going on inside the eye. How many of you I'm spiraling? Are you spiraling? Right? This is what's happening inside the eye, because this is what's spiraling as the spine of the interdimensional experience. The bridge between density consciousness and concentric dimensionality. And this is that moment where all the way in the center is the truth of who you are. And it's not that it's been hidden, and it's not that it's missing. It's just that you didn't know how to find it. And as I'm sharing that, I'm feeling a lot of beings holding their breath. And let us not forget, we've just entered the 5, right? This entire year is going to hit your breath. It's going to hit your throat. And it's all about naked authenticity and your truth. So I want you to really breathe that in, because we still have a third cycle to talk about. And I don't want to do it yet because I really want to hear from you. I really want to go to the phone line, Sri.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, we have a couple of callers standing by over here at the 800 number.
All right, let's go there first.
And that number for those of you who want to jump in is 888-627-6008.
All right, there it is. And remember also 517-208-1500.
And so we're going to go to line 1 over BBS Radio and say hi to Jacqueline from Austin, Texas.
Hey, Jacqueline from Austin. Namaste. Welcome, sweetheart.
And don't hear you.
Hi, honey.
Okay.
All right, let's try another one.
Well, let's try line 4 over there.
All right.
Which is Anne-Marie from Toronto, first-time caller.
Hey, Anne-Marie from Toronto. Welcome. Congratulations. You got through.
Hello, beautiful humans. I can't even believe I got through.
Woo, and you're our first caller. Look at how the universe set that up. I love it.
Just how I would have wanted it too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Our pleasure, sweetheart. How can we serve you?
I was looking to get a soul reading, and also just wanted to let you guys know I only started listening to you guys about a month ago, and I literally cannot stop listening to all your videos and all of your lives. You guys have dropped so many great little keys for me and sowed so many seeds that I'm on fire.
Oh, honey, thank you for receiving. You know, that's the blessing is when we finally say yes to ourselves. And thank you for the affirmation of you and celebrating that with us right now, especially in this extraordinary moment. And so, of course, a soul reading. My goodness gracious. So as I'm sharing with you, same thing, hand to throat. Wow, hand to throat. And the other hand, kind of like between the second and the third chakra. And what's so interesting here is I just keep hearing the word power, and they keep using it like empower, great power, divine power, integrous power, knowing the truth of power. And then they just keep saying that as you breathe in, and I'm really feeling this down here in that second, third. It's like I'm breathing it in, and it's like this warm liquid light coming up right through my heart, right into my throat, up through the third eye, right out of my crown chakra. And this beautiful, beautiful goddess. I mean, like, wow. It's like you coming out of you is gazing at you, and her hands are up, and there's like this golden plate, and it has all these like beautiful, not cards, they're like gold, like thin gold plates, and they're like these thin gold bars on this plate, and they're saying, it doesn't matter which one you pick, they're all gonna make it for you. And so it is.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. I'm feeling that in my high heart right now.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. And I want everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you for opening that portal. Do you feel that?
Yeah, it's
I
wonderful.
want all of us to take in a deep breath, because I am still not back in my body from that connection. And that portal, and this is the beauty of this community. We have, sincerely, my heart bows before you guys. This is the most ascended, high frequency, high vibrational community ever. And when we come together every Sunday, just our mutual field, every one of you that calls in is a master opening up for others. Whether or not you even get on the show, it's just about you being in the phone lines. And so thank you, because this is what matters right now. And I am still feeling, how many of you know that gold plate was put before you? And that there's this beautiful, I want to describe it before I forget. They're very thin, not like paper, but thinner than cardboard, but not thick. Very thin. And it's like when you pick it up, my hands right here, this part of my chakras, that center of my chakras right now, and you might want to do this. Feel that heat. You might want to bring that up.
There's an activation.
I'm feeling that I'm holding one of those gold bars right now. And so, yeah, we're going to have to interrupt what we're doing and do this together. Do you feel that? Wow. Just keep them really about this far right now apart, however much that is. Hold it there. Try to do it exactly. Holding that golden, there it is, and feel the almost like a heat and numbing. And they're saying that you are activating the golden tablets of the divine presence of your essence. And now what Shri was demonstrating, very, very, very slowly open wide and come back until you really start feeling that. Try to keep the spine as straight as you can. And also feet flat, or straight out, okay? But spine very straight. Open and closing very little bit, and you're starting to feel this you feel a creation of energy. Now they're saying, close your eyes, hold right here, bring your heart forward, and notice now, what is the deepest gift inside of your heart? See it and call it out in front of you right now. And I'm seeing what looks like a movie screen coming out of your star consciousness right in front of you. Watch it. What is coming into your heart right now? Why is this in front of you? Look at the integrity of what you're creating. Now gaze beyond that which you are creating to that which is witnessing what you are creating now, and notice what you are noticing. And the divine directors are saying, we wish you a very happy moment as you stand in the center of that which is all creation, feeling and commanding the molecules of light that are yours to be with now. This moment, a gift to the all, is an ignition in a time when your divine presence will be sought for the gift that it is. And it begins with the ignition of you standing forward. Feel the heat in your hands. Bring them closer together. Try not to touch them. Just feel them, bringing them closer and closer. Notice what you're noticing. Notice how they're moving. Feel the heat, the extreme heat, keeping that beautiful spine straight. Very, 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 very gently, very slowly, bring the hands together. You'll notice the electricity. It might feel a little shocking at first. Just gently, 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 touching each one of the fingers to the other finger. Slowly, as you can tolerate the electricity, bringing the hands so the fingers are now back together. Getting the palms together, aligning the arms down to the elbows. And as you can, holding them all together, lifting up, letting the head fall back, breathing in through the nose, lifting up, and they're saying receiving that which the chalice of the ninth dimensional golden ray is here to offer the all, as the all reaches out to the moment that is here now.
Receive. Receive and know. Receive and expand. Receive and smile. Well, that was a wonderful moment, a wonderful practice, and we invite you to revisit it.
And I need a moment. How about we introduce a caller and let them share how they're experiencing? You want to jump over to Oneness Talk Radio?
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Hang
so,
on.
caller, we're going to bring you in while I sip on my Dandy Blend and recuperate, knowing a little bit about what just happened because of the way I'm feeling. All right, where are we going, Sri?
Oh, let's see.
How about we go to Concord, California?
All right, we're going to say hi to Concord, California.
Hey, Concord, how are you doing?
Oh, namaste, beloved Queen Kira. I
Hi.
love you so much. Happy New Year to everybody. I feel like everybody there, almost every face I got to see on the video, the beautiful video. Thank you, Bria. I know, a family. So, hugs to everybody. I'm transported. There's nothing to say. Every hope of a reading today has been brought forward. I am just in full communion with everybody. I'm just so touched. My tears are rolling. We are the light of the world. No one should ever doubt this. And the beauty of your beautiful graphic is Saint Germain, the hierarchy of the Aquarian age of forgiveness and love and transformation. There you felt the call to put the fleur-de-lis right there, the message of our freedom. So, freedom for everybody, and thank you for taking my call. I think I've received the reading I needed.
Thank you, because in this moment, I really needed that. Thank you for calling me back here from that divine portal with such sincerity, love, and presence, the foundation of miracles in our lives. So thank you for bringing the message of miracles to all of us, because I know the miracle that you are and the blessing that we have had to be walking this journey with you for so many years. Welcome to an amazing moment, and we're so glad you're on the planet, honey. I love you so much.
Blessings. I love you so much, too. Namaste.
Mwah.
Big
Namaste.
hug. Much love.
Much love, sweetheart. Oh, yeah. Totally. Namaste. Whew. So let's all just really breathe in, right? Let's just really feel that gift and really know, wow. And so, I'm looking at the time. Let's take another call or two, and then let's talk about that third harmonic cycle, because I also want to talk about what the energy of January is. Remember that to make that Taurus within a Taurus of the concentric time that we are in right now, well, within that energy, there is the overarching energy of the month, but there is also the energy of the aspect of the rising phoenix. And so I want to start talking about that as well, but next week is when we're going to really explore it deeper.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, let's say hi to some more people.
All right. Where are we going, Sri? It looks like we're going to Billings, Montana. Hey, Billings, Montana. Namaste. Welcome.
Whoa.
And the beloved community. Can you hear me okay?
You know, honey, we can't. We can hear you, but there's so much electrostatic interference that we're going to have to put you back on mute, and we'll come back to you a little later. All right, let's go ahead, Sri. Let's continue. Where are we at? Where are we going now? You want to go to Colorado? We're going to Colorado Springs. Hey, Colorado Springs. Namaste.
Hello, Sri and Kira. Such a pleasure to be on. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you,
Welcome.
my love. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Oh, that's just been an amazing show. That energy thing that you just did just blew me away. I'm still swimming in the energy of it, and everything that you have spoken about throughout the show has so deeply resonated with me because I have been experiencing just about every facet. So thank you so much for being our guides through these times. I do have a question. I recently have had to let go of a very dear person. To me, we have very strong energetic ties. And I just would like to request a mini soul reading just so that I know if I'm heading in the right direction dealing with this or if there's anything that I should know. I would be very, very grateful.
Well, first I want you to take in a deep breath, and I will share, if I could ask for your permission, I first heard to invite Sri to look at your field. So can Sri look at your energy field?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to start there because that's what I heard. I heard that's where we needed to start.
Okay.
It's very interesting. As I gaze into your energy field, you are mirroring the energies that are upon us at this time, meaning your first chakra, your fourth chakra, and your fifth chakra are all calling forward greater energy. And what this is meaning to you is that you are in a significant up-level moment. And that what we mean by that is that you are redefining yourself. Your very foundation is shifting. It's more about your beingness than your doings. Your heart is expanding. It's more about embracing a higher order of truth and trusting the divine nature than bargaining. And trading. And the truth chakra, the fifth chakra, is sitting here going, okay, I'm with you. Let's go. Let's command the light. Let's be associated with the higher order of truth, not an old paradigm, which I've outgrown.
Right.
And so I've just, that's what called my attention right there is 1, 4, and 5. And this unity and this alignment that's coming in for you.
And I want to expand that because I heard clearly, let Sri look at your energy field and share that. And so now that you've received that, I want you to kind of breathe that out and really come with me, lift with me. It's like it's not even me. It's this beautiful, beautiful, like a mother spirit. And she's got these beautiful hands and she's saying, just take my hands. She's saying, just take my hands, come. And it's like I'm so honored to witness. And it's like you're saying, okay, and you've got it, and you're lifting. And they're saying, this is the moment for you to really claim who you are and to let go of shrinking ever again. And that this does not mean that you are drastically changing the energy of who you are. What you are doing is saying yes to living the truth of who you are. And that courage, it's like they keep showing me that you've had like this wheel. It's like you've been standing in the middle of what looks like a tornado, but it's like slow moving. And every once in a while, you're able to like look in it and come back out and look in it and come back out. And they're saying, look, it's time to just let the tornado go because what you're not seeing is what's been on the other side of that. And it's like I'm seeing the tornado drop like a curtain, like somebody just has been holding it up and goes, boop, boop, and it drops. And everything that's in front of you, the minute it drops, and for you, this is like instantaneous. It's the minute you claim it. Not only do you understand, deep within you knew was already happening and was coming. So it's like you're at this moment of convergence where everything in your life is saying, make your choice and now stand up and love it. So I want you to really breathe that in, and I want to honor you because this is a moment of great courage. And as Sri was saying, it's everything that's going on. You're literally the resonance of the energy of the moment. So, wow, what an opportune moment for you and for all of us for having this connection. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, yes, that's spot on, and yeah, it's confirmation. Thank you so much.
Much
You're
love to you.
so welcome. We love you with all our heart. Mwah. Thank you, sweetheart.
I
Namaste.
love you too. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Whew, I'm breathing. Are you breathing?
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Well, let's take one more caller, and then we're gonna be
We got more sharing, yeah.
A lot more sharing. So
all right,
let's do
where
that.
are we here?
Where are we here? We are in, it looks like New York right here.
Okay.
All right, so we're over in New York. Hey, New York, namaste.
Blessings, Sri and Kira, and everyone listening. Happy New Year, soul.
Thank you, and to you, Angel, namaste.
Namaste. So I was calling, I wanted to share some love with everyone, as well as if it's possible during this time, was wondering if I can get a mini soul reading, perhaps.
Yes, of course it is. And so, first and foremost, I want you to relax your breath a little more. As I'm connecting with you, I'm actually having a hard time with my breath. I'm recentering in my chair, putting my spine, really deep breath. And as you do that, as you really bring it in, and as Shri's modeling, hand to the heart right there, the high heart, the word, it's just like this word, and it's like they keep chanting it, and they're going, trust, 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 trust. And it's like they're chanting, and they're trusting, and they're moving, and they're marching. And it's like all these beings are coming in around you as like little trust warrior champions. And they're coming, and they all have these like beautiful staves. And it's like you look to your left, and they're like, trust, 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 trust. And you look to your right, and it's like trust, 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 trust. And you look in front of you, trust, trust, trust. And behind you. And then you are now in the middle of that perfect balance of trust. It's like I'm watching you grow in ways that are beyond the mind of this world, and in a time experience that is so rapid to this world that it would be almost impossible for me to share with you. But what they're saying is that if you stand in the center of the balance right now, and you hold the trust of what you know is true, then it's all there. And they're saying that this process began last year. You've been in it for about 6 months now. And now it's just about you really not doubting and staying the course. And so it is. Namaste.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Exactly what I needed to hear.
Oh, thank you. I love you, honey. Namaste.
Much love, dear.
Namaste. Whew. Well, Shri, this really does bring us back to the energy flow. So let's show again. Let's bring up the 2021 energy flow of spiral time. There it is. And remember, we've been talking about these 3 gates. So these 3 gates ignitions actually began when the November-December mirrored time experience began, when we started having all these other things that were moving us into this energy. So here we are outside of linear time completely in this concentric dimensionality. And we have talked about this release of dogma and all the other sense of sacrifice is going to be coming in that wide swath May, June. Then there's going to be that breath. There's going to be that moment, right? And then we're going to come into that second gate, which is all about the anchoring of ascended Kundalini and the physical spine. And remember, we talked all about what that spine really means. Which brings us to look at that circle, that November, December. Now, it may look like it's a lot smaller and it may look a lot tighter, but that is actually, you see the illumination of the eye, of that beautiful all-seeing eye of this rising phoenix as the lion dragon. That energy is yours right now, and this is the key. And what it is the energy of star consciousness meeting inner resistance. Star consciousness, inner resistance. It's that moment about letting go of all resistance and inviting yourself to receive the pure divine flow of your majestic mastery presence that could have been stagnant for a while, simply because of lack of direct connection with spirit. I mean, we're talking about the ultimate sacred union that releases all that is unlike joy, because it's the essence of unconditional love. And the moment when you are able to fully exhale and reclaim through the depth of knowing you. I mean, this is massive moments, guys, just massive, massive moments. And that is what that third gate is.
And that's an opportunity to really not only feel, but to move through the resistance. Because remember, everything that's created seeks to preserve itself, even if it is a, quote, miscreation or outdated software, outdated belief systems. Everything is self-preserving.
Everything.
Until you command that it be dismantled, and that is, we align with a higher order of truth.
It's when we invite ourselves to break beyond the perception is reality is density. And when we can relax and go beyond the perception, then we see the totality of the expansiveness. And then we are able to become that, thereby the law of instantaneous manifestation, sacred union, mastery manifestation. And so these three gates of 2021 are outside of your control, meaning they are coming to you at a level of consciousness that is inviting you to meet it there, because you are capable of doing this. And that's why all of this has been happening. If you're connecting with this radio show, you are capable of doing this. And so as we meet this energy at the level it's being offered, the opportunity to thrive and to restore and simply hold the balance. This is non-interference. This is outside of judgment. It's simply saying that the all is seeking balance, and that the portals of ascended presence have been trampled. And one of the other miracles here, and you saw it in the movie, you saw the little area, very little area up here by our temple where we have the Forest of the Four Grandmothers and the miracle healings that are happening there. And this is where that fifth dimensional photo was taken that we showed a few weeks ago. We are at a moment where those of us that are saying yes will be offered the keys. It's happening. And so why not let your life be filled with the majesty and the wonder of the divine presence of you in your highest expression of co-creative mastery?
And this gateway, this portal is going to really reinforce the capacity of your star consciousness. And we've talked about this off and on for several years, but here's the piece for right now. Your star consciousness is connected to your multidimensional truth.
Yes.
Your soul's essence. Your soul doesn't just exist in one dimension. And so when we activate and align with our star consciousness, we are also connecting to all of the wisdom of the universe. We're connecting to the truth of our being. And guess what would seek to interfere? Limiting beliefs and the content of the ego. So as this activates, you're going to see more clearly where you are in the habit of the pain of the pain.
Archangel Zadkiel 101, read our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home.
And so the star consciousness connection, and this is associated with those prime meridians that we've been talking about for many months now as well.
The cosmic prime meridians.
All of this is happening, and you will get the opportunity, if you cultivate your ascended witnesser, to notice the interplay between the egoic habit and the presence of your divine mastery consciousness. And you'll watch them interplaying. So there's a part of you that is attached from that dance and is able, therefore, to influence with peace in your heart which direction you go.
So really breathe that in, because I sincerely want to invite you with all my heart and soul to do two things. Watch our sister show that also premieres on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch Explore the Mysteries. Really watch tonight's episode. This episode is about right now. It is about the energy and the courage that is needed for you to stand up and thrive. And if ever this show was more perfectly timed, if you want to expand what Sri and I are talking about, if you want to understand it at a deeper level, Explore the Mysteries is our teaching. It's our free teaching that we offer every week to the planet. You can find it over at iHeartRadio. You can find it at OnenesseTalkRadio.com. You can find it at all of the affiliates. You can find it over at Oneness Talk Radio at YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio, lots of different places. But watch tonight's episode, because Sri and I dive into the depth of what it's like for you to come out right now as that rising phoenix, as that unified lion dragon, as that trinity of energy that is saying, I am here, I am ready, I am open and look out. Right? Right? It's just saying, I know who I am. This is not about ego. This is saying, hey, because I know who I am, there's no time to spare. Thank goodness we can wrap it into a spiral because we're already out of time. We have literally left linear time. And I know that sounds crazy to hear. And you know, Sri and I have always been ahead of our time. And so I know there are those of you that can receive this right now. Just like there are so many of you that are receiving the material that we first put out in 2006 because all those codes are unlocking. This is the gift of seeing what's in your spiral. Sri and I know, and those of you that have been with us over the past many years, many times Sri and I have been called off the planet. And the only reason we're still here right now is because of this intersecting moment, because of the time slides that brought us here, so that the material that we were blessed to see back in 2005, 6, 7, and 8 can be unlocked right now. Yeah. And so you are here right now because your mastery presence has said you're ready. Now, in order to be ready, there's a moment where that support network shows up. That's the gift of our Sunday service. And that's why I invite you to do that. The other thing I really, with all my heart, invite you to check out is Monday Magic. This is like the inner sanctum. It's, you know, for us, every Monday Magic, it's like sitting and chit-chatting with family, right? And so we all get together on Zoom. Sri and I unlock for the first time right now, because this is the first time we've been doing this. So this is fresh. In the future, this won't happen again. We're unlocking these keys. And so go to ShriandKira.com and register for the Ascended, Living an Ascended Life. It begins next Monday. So please join us.
It will nourish you in ways that you did not expect.
Yeah.
Because when we nourish consciousness, what we're really saying is, I value being awake. I value and I am grateful for this life, and thank you for co-creating the upliftment with me. So it's a wonderful opportunity to lift and be grateful and to know the truth of who you are.
Sincerely, it is. And beloved angels, how are you feeling right now? Check in. You know, I'm going to go ahead and share with you one more time, because that was the guidance, was to keep sharing it with you all throughout the show. I'm going to go ahead and one more time, and here it is. This is 2021. Now, as you are gazing at this, the one other aspect I have not started sharing yet was that each one of these months, January, February, March, April, carries an aspect of the unified field of this rising phoenix energy as the lion dragon. And we come straight out in January as the Naga spirit. And so January is the Naga. And this is saying that the energy is here in the multidimensional realms. The reason we are here, the reason you are here now, is because in the energy of that Naga spirit coming in as January, there is great protection and the blessing of fluidity and multidimensional adaptivity. This is also a month of Vishnu, and how beautiful that this entire year is existing within that ignited discus of Vishnu. And so you can see what's happening. January is a power month of power that is at a level that is saying, stay in the energy of your ascended presence. Fluidity is a blessing. Multi-dimensional adaptability. This is the month to get over it. If you're not sure you even believe it, then this is the month to decide it. Do I believe it or not? That's thrive or dive. Make a decision. And if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that choice. It's totally cool. Align with what brings you greater peace and stability. Because remember, in January, it's all about right now until we get to January 13th, when we will go to the 12. But right now, we're sitting in the void. And what's so powerful is that when humanity shoots out of this void on January 13th, we are resetting. We're coming out at the 12 o'clock hour. It's a reset. So what's that reset looking like? It's the next 13 days of this month. So it's a big one. It's a really big one.
We're in a wonderful time to be conscious. In fact, let's try this on right now. Hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Really important to do this throughout the day. Let's enjoy another breath together. The heart is your foundation, the foundation of the ascended state.
Yes.
And now let's try on this declaration of truth. I am conscious. And I am grateful. I am conscious. And I am grateful. As we reside there, everything unfolds quite beautifully, does it not?
Oh, yes, it does. And I want to invite you to take in a deep conscious breath. And I do want to offer you one little tidbit. Join us at Soul Mirrors Tuesday night, because for the first time, there's going to be a big reveal and the start of a massive month of incredible people, incredible energy, all of it featuring the incredible Sensi Mag. Big announcements coming Tuesday during Soul Mirrors. Be there.
So, beloved ones, as we come to a close of this interaction today, let's enjoy that breath and let us know the truth that all is truly well. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at Shri